Spacey, sticky, super cush. It just fits different. Experience a new high. Ultra, stay out there.
Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Caleb Olson. It's the day after your win of the 2025 Western States Endurance Run. How does that feel?
It feels really good. I never really thought that I would be a winner of Western States, so it's pretty amazing.
I think you used about everything you had for that win yesterday.
I think so too. Yeah, I took a big shot there and ended up maybe overdoing it slightly, but it was enough to hang on for the win.
So let's zoom backwards just a little bit, because you were at this race last year for your debut run. You had an incredible performance, but yet you bettered that by something like a half hour yesterday. Take us back to this day last year.
Yeah.
Did you just sort of set your sights on, okay, I did that really well, but I think I can do better? Or what happened in the year since then?
Yeah, I did feel like I did it well and could do better, but I also finished last year thinking like that was probably good enough for me. Like, I don't know that I needed to go do better. And but I had the opportunity, like I got the spot back in, and so I was like, I'll just save my spot in case I end up wanting it.
Yeah.
And then I had a really good Trans Gran Canaria and was really happy with that, and that just got me excited about trying to see how much I could improve here. And I also started being coached, and that has made a big difference with my training.
Okay.
So I felt fitter than last year by a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, it made me want to come see what I could do.
And who's your coach?
His name's Jack Kenzel with the Voc Endurance.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is your, it was more like a, hey, training's going really well. I win Trans Gran Canaria. Training has changed working with Jack, and you're thinking, okay, maybe this year will go faster.
Yeah, basically, I think not only like going faster, but also just knowing the course, knowing how, like not only was it my first Western last year, it was my first 100 miler. So knowing that I can run 100 miles and that I can finish it, and then also just how that feels deep in a 100-mile race. I think it was a little, it's always intimidating, but it was less intimidating this year because I had been through it before. So I knew I could take more risk, be a little more aggressive, and hopefully still come out okay.
I want to talk about how the race played out, but first, there was one other really important factor going on in the background with your training and preparation. You have a brand new baby.
Yes, Marshall is 2 months old.
Yeah.
That was another reason why I wasn't sure if I'd come back this year.
Okay.
I just wanted to, I didn't want to commit to it fully because I didn't know how recovery and training would be affected. And kind of just told myself, we'll see how it goes and I'll do it if I can. And things went well. My wife, Morgan, took a ton of kind of night shifts, making sure that I could sleep and recover, and that made the difference.
That's pretty angelic, huh?
Yeah.
But it must have, I mean, just training and everything about your world must have been different the last 2 months.
Yeah, definitely. I think it also kind of just gives you like another purpose. Like I think running always kind of feels a little selfish, and like leaving your baby and wife definitely feels selfish to go for a run. Yeah. So you kind of have like some guilt, but then also you know that like this is kind of becoming a job. Like I've got a good sponsor, some good sponsors, and I can actually make a difference for my family if I come out here and do well. So I think that is a motivating part of it too.
Let's talk about how the race played out. You put yourself in it sort of straight away and didn't look back. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Yeah, pretty straight away. I'd say for the first like 20 to 30 miles, I kind of was hanging in the back of the front pack probably, and didn't want to just take the lead and put out too much energy on my own. But I do think I was feeling good, and I saw that I was able to keep up with everybody, and so I was getting confidence throughout the beginning.
So you were, because it felt like you were sort of there from the get-go, but the early miles felt more passive to you, like you were letting other people sort of set the pace and you were just sitting there to see what happens.
Yeah, there was one moment where I hopped in front because it was a little more technical, and I like doing technical downhill, and so I just hopped in and let it because I felt good on that. But for the most part, I think I was kind of sitting back behind the first couple people and just riding off their energy.
What was it like sort of man train lasted for a really long time and stayed quite close together. What was that like?
It did last a while. It was actually really fun. I know a lot of those guys and I'm friends with them, and it was fun to just be able to like chat and see how everybody was feeling. But I think there's something about, it's almost like joining a peloton and cycling. Like there's something about just hopping in the line with people like that just pulls you along and feels good.
Feels easier maybe.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any awareness of how fast you were running, that you were quite well below course record pace quite early?
Yeah, I had a lot of awareness of that.
Okay.
I made a little spreadsheet before and put some thought into like, where can I shave time off last year, with the intention of thinking it would be cool on an absolute best case scenario day to hit 13:59. So I had made splits for 13:59 and I knew those splits and I saw that we were hitting them and then got ahead of them. And I was like, well, this might actually happen. And then I eventually realized this isn't going to happen. But yeah, I figured if I shot big, even if I came up short, that would still end up being a good day.
How did the conditions feel this year compared to last?
Definitely hotter.
When did it hit?
Pretty quickly. I brought an ice vest with me, or like a ice bandana in my vest from the beginning, and I put it on at the first aid station, Lion Ridge.
Oh, interesting.
And started filling it up with ice and never stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet you guys were still running pretty quick for a long time.
Yeah, it felt hotter, but I think there's also just a good, deep, fit group of guys out there that can handle the heat better this year.
Yeah.
It seems like people did a lot more heat training to prepare.
The field was pretty close, like through mile 40-ish, and then maybe going up Devil's Thumb in that area is when things started, like the man train breakup started happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going up Devil's Thumb, I think it was just me and Chris by that point. I know other people weren't that far back, but
it felt like it was
it felt like it was me and Chris just kind of working together, pushing up that climb.
And then it was after that, like going up into Michigan Bluff, I think, that you created a gap on Chris as well.
Yeah, Chris took a little bathroom break real quick, and after that, there was just a little bit of a gap. I could see him, he wasn't that far back, but he never fully closed that gap again.
And then I guess it was in like the Michigan Bluff, Forest Hill, top of Cal Street, where you established like a roughly 5-minute gap on Chris, and that never changed. Like it was like 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. Did you, like, were you aware of what was going on there, or were you just doing your thing and hoping to stick it?
Yeah, no, I wish I had just been doing my thing, but I was definitely aware. I was worried he was gaining on me, and I was feeling really bad from Green Gate to the finish, and I could feel myself just losing a ton of time. And luckily for me, unluckily for him, I think he was also feeling bad at those same points, because the gap stayed pretty similar even though we were both slowing down a lot. Yeah.
Did you have any awareness that Killian was starting to cut into both you and Chris?
Yeah, I was getting some updates on him too. He was far enough back that like my quick mental math kind of told me like with 10 miles to go, you'd have to do a minute per mile faster than me to catch me.
So you'd have to like really slow down.
Yeah, I'd have to really die. And I was really dying, but then in like the last 5 miles, I was like, I can't let myself get caught now. I got to just push. And so I kind of pulled myself out of it.
Did you let yourself in any moment there, like a couple miles from the finish, where it's like, okay, I know there's 5 minutes of daylight between me and Chris. Did you let yourself start to let it sink in, or were you like all the way to the line?
No, I did let it sink in. I really wanted the course record, and I think that would have been really cool, but going up, like basically starting the climb up to Roby Point, I was like, it's too tight. Like I'm gonna have to absolutely kill myself to try and go for it, and that just sounds terrible at this point in the race. I'd rather have a good experience and enjoy the moment. And so I did push up that climb still to see if I could keep it within reach, but once I hit Roby Point and got over that final hill, I think it was more just switching into enjoyment mode, spending time with the crew, and taking it all in.
You finished in 14:11, the second fastest time in history, just around 2 minutes slower than Jim Walmsley's 2019 time. That must feel like pretty good. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, no one besides Jim has done that, so it's cool company to be in.
Of course, the question is like, you know, you came back and bettered yourself by something close to a half hour this year. You had on the split card sub 14 hours. Okay, that's like a little bit of an elephant in the room. How do you feel about that today?
You mean like coming back and going for it or something?
Yeah, you know, just that sitting there of that carrot.
I think somebody will do it soon. I think Jim could easily do it on any given year, basically. But I think I've gotten everything I need out of Western States, and I've done it twice in a row now, and I'd like to go check out some other races.
What are you hungry to do?
I mean, same day as Western, Lavaredo seems pretty cool. I've never tried UTMB. Maybe now that I've proven to myself that I can do 100 miles, maybe it's time to start doing some harder 100-milers that would take longer. I don't know. Right now, I'm mostly just wanting to not run and
sit on the
take some
couch.
time off. Yeah.
Hold your baby.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people on the internet talking about your fashion yesterday. Your shirt.
Yep.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, Nike made some pretty cool, like, innovative top that I've gotten a lot of funny comments about how it looks like grandma knitted it or something, but it actually has some pretty cool technology behind it. I spent a lot of time in a heat chamber treadmill kind of set up on Nike campus testing it out with like sensors all over my body.
Doing like heat mapping to see where it was letting heat out and where it was needed to be modified, or?
Yeah, some of that, and just like comparing it to like this shirt that I would often wear for races like this. Like I wore a similar shirt last year. So just comparing like how effective it is and trying out different combinations of outfits basically until I found the one that kept me the coolest. And
that literally kept you the coolest according to the sensors.
According to the sensors and according to like my perception of it. Yeah. So I felt pretty confident wearing, like, it might look a little funny. I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. But
I love it.
I think it kept me a lot cooler, and it was really nice.
For me, what was interesting was to see like the gaps in the fabric, like under the armpits and in the the fold of your arm. Yeah,
armpits and elbows. It really heavily relies on like air flowing through it, so, and being wet. So if you've got it wet and air's flowing, then you stay pretty cool with it on.
You live in the Wasatch Mountains. That's a pretty cool place to play.
Yeah.
Do you have some, I don't know, non-race related adventures or things like once the body heals up a little bit to get out and play a little bit?
I've been definitely itching to get up into the Wasatch Mountains more. I don't get up there very often during Western training because it's not really what you need, but I'm definitely excited to, my next race on the calendar is Worlds, so that lends itself well to doing some more like hiking in the mountains kind of days.
Vertical, technical.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't have any real specific project I want to like give a hard effort or anything, but I'm just ready to go enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win of the 2025 Western States 100, and it'll be really exciting to watch you at Worlds.
Thank you.